everybody, welcome back to another episode of TV Time with Maggie, and today we are going to be talking about 3 of my favorite shows on Netflix in terms of animation. So I've always loved anime and animated shows both for kids and adults. As a former educator, I still consider myself an educator though, but as a former educator for young children, I'm always looking for shows that not only are educational, but are also sending a very good and positive message. And the 3 shows that I'm going to talk about today have one thing in common. Well, they have a few things in common, but mostly they have fantastic female characters, and I absolutely love it. In another show that I used to have called the Feminist Tea Party, I actually have an entire episode dedicated to magical girls in anime, and I encourage you guys to go watch it. I'm going to put the link down below because it talks about this kind of subgenre of animation that really is built around female empowerment, and not only empowerment, like they're just not all about being tough or having like these like masculine qualities about leadership or being rough or being strong. It's about be silly, that you can be feminine, that you can be a little bit more cautious and still be not only beautiful and kind and smart, but that, you know, you can also be super strong in every sense of the word, not just physically, but also have a really strong personality. So I'm going to show you guys 3 shows that I love here on Netflix. So my first show that I'm going to show you guys is The Dragon Prince. It's actually my favorite show on Netflix right now in terms of animation. And I loved it from day one. It's now in the 2nd season, and it was just renewed for a 3rd season. It centers around these 2 young boys, these 2 young princes who are basically had to leave their home after their father is killed, and they find this dragon egg. But I'm here to talk about the female characters. So the first female character that I was just like completely hooked on was definitely Captain Amaya. So Amaya in the show, not only is she a strong female character in terms of having a great backstory, like her sister lost her life in a war prior. Her sister was also like a warrior and a princess at the same time, which is really cool. But Amara is a commander, like she's leading these troops into you know, fighting, you know, whomever is going against the kingdom, but also finding the prince. She doesn't take shit from anybody. She doesn't depend on anybody to help her. She does have like a young man who's helping her like translate, but other than that, like she doesn't need anybody, and she does whatever she wants. But she has like a loyalty and a truth to her. Obviously, I really like Rhea. Rhea, first of all, I love her name, but Rhea is not human. She's like an elf, and she is absolutely hilarious. And at the beginning, she's a little bit like standoffish, but there's a fantastic episode when we find out that she has a fear of water, and I just felt that after that episode she gets a little sillier. She starts trusting the guys a little bit more. The guys trust her. She's known for having like the best human impression, like she pretends to be a human in the kingdom to get from point A to point B, and she's one of those characters that have surprised me because she also had, you know, she was bonded by, you know, I have to do this duty, I have to, you know, kill, I'm a trained assassin, this is what I'm gonna do. But she finds that her mission is changed since she met the 2 princes. And then last but not least, I love Claudia. So Claudia, she's seen as a little bit of an antagonist, but Claudia is another one who has more of, she has a dynamic personality. So she, her dad wants the kingdom for himself, and she is, you know, also tasked with finding them, but also killing them, and she decides not to. And during the show, we see that she's very loyal. She's very like family oriented. She loves her brother. She gives up everything for him, and she has obviously, like, again, she's like more of an antagonist, but she also has like this fantastic personality where she's still a little bit silly. She still has her moments of clumsiness, of being fearful. The Hollow Oh my goodness. So my brother actually showed me this show, and when I first started watching it, I was so intrigued by the mystery. I'm like, so what is going on? This is probably the main questions of all the characters. We have two main girls. One is Mira. So Mira is one of the three young protagonists who they just wake up trapped in this world, trapped in this room where things seem to be played out kind of like a video game. What I like about her, and I liked about the series in general, is that even though she's paired up with these two young boys, they are not really there to lead her, or I mean, they work together. But as we get into more of the show, we have another character. Her name is Vanessa, and she's a little different. She's a little different than Mira, because Mira wants to work together. Vanessa wants to just win whatever it is that they're doing. She's smart, like Mira, she's very smart, and but she has like this kind of, she's a little bit more kind, and she's a little bit more working together, still being, you know, a leader, but also part of the team, while Vanessa is more of like, I'm very competitive, I know what I'm doing, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm gonna self-service myself. And it's kind of like a different personality. This is my current favorite show, is She-Ra. So She-Ra is a reboot from the actual cartoon. I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. But He-Man had a long lost sister named She-Ra. And if you guys saw the original animation, it was very similar to this. Like, she has a sword, and she transforms into this beautiful magical princess. Characters aren't so black and white. And I think one of my favorite things about it is not just that, you know, She-Ra is there, and she's beautiful, and she's, you know, amazing with her abilities and everything like that. But there are two things. One, like in all of the shows that I showed you guys, the guy here, Bo, the male characters don't hinder the female characters. They don't leave them. They're there as support. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like, I love Bo. I love his introduction too. Like, he loves, you know, being in a world where it's basically ruled by women. The other thing that I love about the show, not only that we get to see so many wonderful princesses who are also super dynamic and they kick butt, and they also have their own personalities. They're not just like, I'm a princess. They're kind of a little bit like Glimmer, like, I mean, I'm just who I am. I just happen to have this title. One of the things that I really enjoy is the relationship between Adora, which is like She-Ra's like human regular character, who's the orphan who becomes She-Ra, Adora, and Katha. What I like about it is that she's a little bit more dynamic than the original. They were best friends, and now they're on opposite sides of this war, and because they were best friends, their interactions and their relationship is so complicated. It's like, I don't want to hurt you or kill you, but my beliefs have changed. And the other one says, well, I'm betrayed because we were raised together to believe this other lie, this other thing. Two honorable mentions. They are fantastic shows. It's just that I haven't seen enough of them to make it one of my favorites. My brother actually introduced me to Hilda. And if you guys like Gravity Falls, you guys will love Hilda. And I believe it was a book prior to it being animated. And what I like about it is the fact that Hilda is like a little weirdo, that she doesn't mind who she is. Like, she is who she is. She accepts other people for who they are, even if they're monsters or people are afraid of them. And last but not least, I'm gonna mention Carmen Sandiego, because I used to like the original Carmen Sandiego, but then this one teaches us a little bit more about why Carmen is the way she is. And that's what I like about it. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I really had fun watching all these animated series. I'm gonna watch more, I promise. I kind of want to do another episode on like maybe like anime that are original to Netflix. I'm not sure, but please let me know in the comments down below which shows do you guys like, and also which show should I watch. And I'm also looking forward to doing an episode on Hulu and their stuff, because Hulu is rocking right now, and I've always been all about Netflix. So I'm kind of changing a little bit, and I need your help. I need your help to let me know what you guys are watching on Hulu, so I can do an episode on some of my favorite shows from there as well. So thank you guys again for joining, and happy watching.